The supply chain is a fascinating environment right now. I think you summarized it wonderfully. If you think about what's happening, there's been a clear shift in the supply chains from just in time to just in case. If you think about what's happening in regards to China, it's definitely easing. Shanghai opening up, running, as you know, at around 95% in terms of its capacity. So that no doubt is a good sign. But be clear, the logjam there could easily last until year end. We're beginning to see some easing on the West Coast side as well of the US. Port congestion there has decreased. The number of container ships as of the port of Los Angeles and down in Long Beach that are waiting for berth has decreased significantly since January. We're down to roughly around 30 ships versus 37 in the prior week. And that's all the way down from 109 back in January. So that's getting better. But then, of course, there's Russia, and you mentioned it in your opening remarks, Martin. More than 600,000 businesses worldwide rely on some form of Russian and Ukraine supplier. And that's everything from gas and oil, wheat, corn, everything iron related. It's all under strain. And that's the piece that people are struggling with right now. And to your point, people are coming to us looking to outsource.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, what you do is you manage outsourced supply chains as well as warehousing, which I want to talk to you about in just a little bit with regards to U.S. retailers as well. But, you know, that dependence on Ukraine, interesting bit of trivia, a lot of wiring harnesses for at least petrol, gasoline-powered cars are made in Ukraine. I just found that out overnight. But back to these Ukraine and war-induced supply chain kinks here. I mean, one thing we've also noticed is that, at least on the shipping side, insurance premiums have jumped over time. Have they started to level out or flatten, do you think, or even come down?
Well, so this is the difficulty. There are supply chain bottlenecks appearing in places that people didn't even know existed before. And somewhere along the line, this has to get passed on to an end consumer. And that consumer right now is holding up relatively well in the face of inflation, but it's definitely a struggle. So when it comes to the shipping companies, they're making good money at the moment. They're passing on those costs that they're seeing in their inflation system onto their customers, and those customers in turn are trying to pass it on to their own consumers. But I would say what's interesting about this value chain, so to speak, this knock-on effect of dominoes that's taking place, is that the death of the consumer right now, I think, has been greatly exaggerated. And I think there's far more nuance to this picture than people are giving credit to on Wall Street. We're seeing a significant shift here, as you and I both know, to consumer experience versus consumer goods. And that's going to be the big theme, as you say, across the different bottlenecks and nodes that are appearing across the entire value chain.